it's been a tough season. In fact, it's been a last 2 seasons have been very, very tough for TJ Brodie. Can you explain a goalie's mentality when a defenseman looks lost like this?
Like, so he gets the puck to him and he's trying to make like a cute bank off the wall there. Like it hits the corner, just goes up the wall. So I don't know if he thought his winger was going to force up the wall or what he was doing, but that was just such a soft play at that time in the hockey game. And then from there, there's just no compete. Like he seems lost. It's been a rough go for him lately. And that is a play that is just magnified in overtime, a play that just can't happen. That needs to be a hard puck off the glass, out of play, or just at least try to exit the zone with it. He almost even had time to like open up and fire it straight down the middle too. It was just like this cute play that doesn't need to get made. And again, those are plays that when you don't get the puck out of your zone, especially you're on the penalty kill in overtime, though, that just can't happen. And that's just losing hockey every time.
Huts, we've got to a point where you can't play this guy in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like for me, I don't care who the guy is. I don't care how much he makes. What's the best roster that gives me the best opportunity to win a hockey game? And I can safely say I've been the biggest defender of TJ Brodie on this podcast. He's not playing at the level you need in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like that is alarming stuff right there, watching that clip. I don't know what he was doing. He's on there in OT. He's obviously one of Sheldon Keefe's favorites. He's a pending free agent. It just ain't happening. It's not happening. And you have the depth in the back end. You have 9 guys. Fuck, I'd have Giordano ahead of TJ Brodie right now. And I love TJ Brodie. I think he's a quality human being, and he's had a tough go of things the last couple of years, but he is nowhere close to the guy they signed, 4 years back from the Calgary Flames, where he was that steady guy that you just never talked about. He is unplayable right now.
Yeah, and that is professional hockey and professional sports in general. It's like, what have you done for me lately, right? You can draw upon all these things, how he used to be and what he used to do, and he's just not getting it done here, especially when you look at other players. You're playing in technically a meaningless game in the sense of like you're pretty set in the standings, and you have a guy like Jake McCabe who's out there blocking a shot with his face, battling, competing, right? And then you have a guy like Brodie who can't even make a play, or, it's just so soft. Like, I know Edmondson sat out, but he's going to bring it. Labushkin, these are guys that come playoff hockey are going to make it hell on the other team, especially in a 7-game series. And with Brodie, it's just these sloppy plays. It's one thing to be a skill guy, right? And have this element, you're mobile, you can make plays, but you have to be able to play in your end. Like you are a defenseman. You need to make good plays, not be so soft. And it's gotten, Nick, I'm with you. It's got to the point where I just don't see how you can ice him come playoff time.
Dude, it's comparable. Like if anybody out there plays video games, it's like your controller disconnecting watching TJ Brodie. Like it's alarming the type of mistakes he's making, where it's like, man, like you're a fringe AHL player. Like it's really, really weird. And I know it's Toronto. I know there's always a whipping boy. Last year was Justin Hall, but some of the decision making, it's like, are you all there? Like, are you all there? Are you a guy who's been a steady shutdown guy for 10, 12 years now in the NHL? Because he's completely been zapped of his confidence. And again, I can't go back to the fact that he's TJ Brodie. He's got to be in this lineup. Game 1, I'm sorry, you just haven't played good enough. You put him in at some point, plays well enough, you keep him in the lineup. But there's other guys, I think 8 other guys right now, quite frankly, I'd have over TJ Brodie. And I don't think I've been too harsh. Like they tried everything. They healthy scratched him. It's just like every game, there's usually at least 1 or 2 goals, at least one, where you can pinpoint, look at the tape and be like, man, what was TJ Brodie doing? And that's scary to me, knowing the playoffs start on Saturday, and that effectively could happen on Saturday night in a meaningful game where it's like the season's on the line. You lose 4 games, you're done.
Yeah, and getting down 4-1 against the Florida Panthers or Boston Bruins,
You're done.
Who you face, you're not coming back. That game's over. The game is locked up tight. This is a Detroit Red Wings team who's horrible defensively, and again, I just think that there's so many other options. It's almost like you have to give those guys a chance to play themselves out of the lineup, where I think what you're talking about is Brodie has played himself out of this starting lineup. And it's blatantly obvious. Put contracts, all the shit aside, I don't see how you start him. I agree with you, Nick.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosa. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.